Hello, how are you doing? My name is Antonio Galimberti. Welcome to this class. This is class number 64. I'm very happy to be here with you. Welcome. Today we are going to talk about past experiences. And when we talk about past experiences, we can review things like the present perfect, the simple past, would like to, and be going to. Why would like to and be going to? Because if there is something we didn't do in the past, we may do it in the future. That's why we will be addressing desires and plans today as well. In order to practice for international exams, we have this set of pictures and this card in order to create a conversation based on the information that we have there. We're going to write a paragraph with 169 words, and this is class 64, this vocabulary to talk about plans, future things we want to do, or things that we haven't done in the past or we have done in the past. We will review also pronunciation of verbs in the past participle using phonetic symbols taken from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. Are you interested in online English classes? Please visit our website, send us an email, send us a WhatsApp message. We teach English for all levels, all ages, and all needs. We will be happy, delighted to help you out. Please interact with our content on social media, right? And let us know what you think about our content. At the end of this class, we're going to have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions and are watching the class live, leave your comments there. If you're watching the recording, you can leave your comments right there as well and your questions, or just send us your questions using any of the means that we have made available for you. So are you ready for speaking class number 64? I am. Hi, my name is Antonio Galimberti from AG Languages. Thank you for watching this class. This is class number 64, speaking class. Today we are talking about past experiences, and we will review the past perfect, or sorry, the present perfect, We use the present perfect to talk about things that happened in the past, but we don't say when those things happened. Okay, look at these examples. What do we need? We need a subject, light blue, an auxiliary, have or haven't, in yellow, affirmative or negative, and a verb in the past participle. If it's regular, it's going to finish in ed, right? And then the complement. Example, I have visited New York once. So you're talking about a past experience here. You're not saying when it happened. You're just saying that it happened. Okay? I haven't visited Los Angeles. Here you're saying that there is something that you didn't do, that you haven't done in the past, but you're not mentioning when the event it didn't happen. So when you want to talk about past experiences and you don't want to say when those experiences happened, you have to use the present perfect. Example, I have visited New York once, or I haven't visited Los Angeles. You can also use irregular verbs. Look at the orange column. A regular verb is going to finish in ed. An irregular verb, orange, is taken from the third column of a list of irregular verbs. So, examples. I have been to New York once. I haven't been to Los Angeles. Correct? You will always use have or haven't between the subject, light blue, and the verb in the past participle, orange. So your auxiliary is going to be have or haven't. Again, I have been to New York once. I haven't been to Los Angeles. But if you're talking to somebody else, you're talking about a girl, for example, you have to change the subject. The subject is not going to be I anymore. It will be she. If that is your subject, then you have to change the auxiliary. Now it's has, or hasn't. Correct. And after that, you can have a verb in the past participle, visited. If it is regular, it is going to finish in ed. She has visited New York once. She hasn't visited Los Angeles. Are you talking about past experiences? Yes. Are you saying when those experiences happened? No. All right. So that is when or how you use the present perfect. You can also use irregular verbs, of course. Example, she has been to New York once. She hasn't been to Los Angeles. So if she is the subject, then has is the auxiliary. In affirmative form, has. In negative form, hasn't. And after that, a verb in the past participle. It can be irregular, been, taken from the third column of your list of irregular verbs, or a regular verb that finishes in ed. That's nice. Can you make questions with a present perfect? Yes, you can make questions like yes, no questions, like the ones you see here on the screen. In that case, you start with the auxiliary, have or has, depending on the subject. If the subject in light blue is you, have you, have you, have you. If your subject in light blue is she, has she, has she, has she. Then you can put an adverb, ever. Have you ever? Has she ever? Have you ever? Has she ever? You can memorize that as just one phrase. And right after that, you will need a verb in the past participle. It can be regular or irregular. Example, have you ever been to New York? Has she ever been to New York? And your answers, your short answers can be yes, I have, no, I haven't, yes, she has, no, she hasn't. Okay, good. So the auxiliary is going to be have or haven't, or has or hasn't, depending on the subject. Now we're going to put all of this into practice. We will put this into practice um, to speak when we are taking an international exam. What happened there, Antonio? I don't know. Okay, so test taking strategies for international exams. So, which exam? The PEIC exam, the Pearson English International Certificate. So, we give preparation for this international certificate. So if you think you need to improve your English before taking this exam, we have courses to help you out, like our grammar boosters or English boosters. And once you are prepared, we give you training for an international exam. Nice. And when you take an exam like this, they give you a task like this. Let's read the task. Imagine you are at a job interview. You are the interviewee. Your partner is the interviewer. He will ask you questions and make comments. So this is the task. But in order for you to have a conversation with the other person that is taking the exam with you, you will receive a card. And in that card, there are instructions for you to create a conversation. And for this conversation that is about past experiences, we are going to use this today. The present perfect, the simple past, would like to, and be going to. Correct? Remember, the present perfect is used to talk about past events, but you don't say when those events happened. The simple past is used to talk about past events, but you say when those things happened. Would like to, you use that to talk about things that you would like to do in the future. Desires. And be going to talk about your plans. Okay, so let's go over the card. Tell him if you have worked in the restaurant industry. Tell him when you got your first job as a cook. Number 3, tell him if you have ever thought about running your own restaurant. Tell him what you would like to learn from the company. Tell him what your plans are if you do not get the job. Thank the interviewer for the opportunity. So you're going to put this together into a conversation, maybe one like this. Light blue is the interviewer and yellow is the interviewee. And do you see all the white highlights? Well, those are instances, examples of the grammar that we are addressing today. Present perfect, simple past, would like to, and be going to. Correct? So let's start reading this conversation. Light blue, 1. Have you ever worked as a chef? Yellow, 1. Yes, I have. I have been a chef for many years. Light blue, 2. When did you start working as a chef? Yellow, 2. My first job as a chef was 7 years ago. Light blue, 3. Wow, you have a lot of experience. Have you ever thought about running your own restaurant? Yellow, 3. Yes, actually, that's one of my goals. Light blue, 4. Nice. What would you like to learn from working with our company? Number 4, yellow. I know that you offer high quality service to an exclusive market, so I would like to learn how to address that market's needs. Yeah, light blue, 5. I like that. However, what are your plans if we do not hire you? Yellow, 5. That's a good question. I'm going to try it again in a few months. In the meantime, I can see other options. 6, yellow, light blue, sorry. I see. This is the end of the interview. Yellow, 6. Thank you for your time, sir. Okay, so this is the conversation. And what are we doing here? Here we are going to pay attention to the grammar, okay? Light blue. First, let's do light blue. Have you ever worked? You have the present perfect right there. Have you? Have, auxiliary, you, subject, ever, adverb, worked, worked. Regular verb in the past participle. That is why it finishes in ed. What do you have to memorize to talk about past experiences? Have you ever? Have you ever? Have you ever? And then you put a verb, regular or irregular, in the past participle. Number 2, when did you start? When did you start? So here you have the simple past, auxiliary, did, subject, you, verb in base form, start. This is a question in the simple past because the question is about a specific timing. Okay, that's why you see that the question is when. When did you start working as a chef? Simple past for specific time in the past, or activities that took place at a specific time in the past. Number 3, have you ever thought past events, but you don't say when? Have you ever thought, right, again, you have you ever, have, auxiliary, you, subject, ever, preposition, a adverb, and then you have thought. You have your verb in past participle. In this case, you have a verb that is irregular. That is why it doesn't finish in ed. It's coming from think to thought. This has been taken from the third column of your list of irregular verbs. Number 1, worked, regular. Number 3, thought, irregular. Number 4, to talk about future desires, light blue. Would you like to? Would you like to? That is something that you have to memorize to talk about future desires. Would you like to? Would you like to learn? Okay, and then you put a verb right after would you like to in base form. Okay, would you like to learn, base form. Yellow, yes I have. I have been, present perfect. Yes I have, short answer for a yes no question. Yes I have, auxiliary have. I have been, I have been, I have been. So I have been. Have is your auxiliary. Subject I, have, auxiliary, been, verb in the past participle. To talk about events in the past. My first job as a chef was here. You are talking about 7 years ago, something specific. That is why you need a simple past. My first job as a chef, subject, was the verb in the past. I would like to learn. I would like to learn. I would like to learn. So how do you express a future desire? I would like to learn, your verb, okay, in base form. Now a plan. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. Verb, try. How do you express a plan? I'm going to. I'm going to. I'm going to. I'm going to try. Good. So now let's use some of the things we have been discussing, but in a different context. The context now is an A2 Key Cambridge exam. And when you take this exam, they're going to give you 4 pictures. And what do you have to do with the pictures? You have to write a story based on the pictures. At AG languages, we don't do that. We don't make you write a story in class, but you have to talk about the pictures to narrate a story or just to describe what you see there. But we are developing our test taking strategies in that way. And if you're interested in taking that exam, the Cambridge A2 Key exam, please contact us and we can help you out so you can have a certification. And the pictures are related in this case with past experiences. And to develop our task, we need a present perfect to talk about things that happened in the past, but we don't say when those things happened. And we also are going to use the simple past to say when something happened. So in the first picture, we see Egypt. Number 2, a very expensive car. Number 3, probably Japanese food. And number 4, Shakira, Shakira. Good. So what's the story based on this? Or what can you say? Mary has been to Egypt twice. So past events, yes. When, we are not saying when the event took place. So we are just saying that Mary has been to Egypt twice. Mary's subject has the auxiliary and been. Your auxiliary is has, not have, because your subject is Mary, third person singular. Now, light blue, past, but you don't say when. Not specific. Now, yellow. Look at numbers 2 and 3. Yellow. This is in the simple past because you are talking about specific events that happened at specific times in the past. In number 2, 10 years ago. In number 3, last year. That is why we're using the simple past. Look. Number 2, she first visited the country 10 years ago. Wow. Number 3, she traveled to Egypt for the second time last year. So subject she in numbers 2 and 3. Verbs visited, traveled. Okay, verbs in regular verbs in the simple past for specific events at a specific time in the past. Now, indefinite past. She has driven a very expensive car more than once. Oh, nice. When? We are not saying when. Why? Because this is the present perfect and we use it to talk about things that happened in the past, but we are not saying when those events took place. Subject, she. Auxiliary, has. Verb in past participle, driven. She has driven. She has driven. Number 2, she drove a Ferrari on her first trip to Italy. Number 3, she rented the car online before the trip. So number 2, she drove a Ferrari on her first trip to Italy. Number 3, she rented the car online before the trip. Correct? So number 2, she drove specific when on her first trip to Italy. Number 3, she rented specific when before the trip. You see? So light blue, present perfect, non-specific. 2 and 3, simple past specific regarding time. All right. So time expression in number 2, on her first trip to Italy. On her first trip to Italy. Number 3, before the trip. Beautiful. Now, this picture. She has always tried new dishes on her trip. Always, always. When? We're not saying when. Why? Present perfect. We are just saying that something happened. When? We don't care. We don't need that at the point. At that point. So subject she, auxiliary has. You have a frequency adverb here, always, but the most important part is the verb in the past participle. This is regular, that's why it finishes in ed. Tried. She has always tried new dishes on her trips. When? We don't know, but hold on. Number 2 is giving you specific information in the simple past. It has 2 time expressions, in my opinion. One of them, last month. The other one, on her visit to Tokyo. Right? Last month, she ate Japanese food on her visit to Tokyo. So, she ate. This is the simple past. The verb is irregular. That is why it doesn't finish in ed. It has been changed. Yes, from eat to ate. Number 3, she has never made. She has never made those dishes at home though. Okay. So again, okay, we don't say when, we are just saying that this is something that has never happened before. So she has never made. Subject she, auxiliary has, frequency adverb never, verb in past participle made. In number one, the last word in light blue in number one is a regular verb. That's why it finishes in ed. The last word in number three is an irregular verb. That's why it doesn't finish in ed. It's coming from make. Make in the past participle, made. Beautiful. Shakira, last week, that time marker is going to give you the context that you need for numbers 1, 2, and 3. So that those three sentences can be expressed in the simple past, because all of those three sentences, 1, 2, and 3, are about last week. Okay, last week she met Shakira in an elevator. Simple past, she met. Time expression, last week. Number two, they took a picture of themselves together. Simple past, they took. Number three, it was Shakira's idea. Okay, simple past, it was. What are the verbs in the three examples? Met, took, and was. Irregular verbs in the simple past. They are coming from, number one, meet, from meet to met. Number two, from take to took. Number three, from be, the verb to be, to was. Now, indefinite past, present perfect. Number four, light blue. Mary hasn't met any other celebrities in her life. So, present perfect to talk about something that has never happened. Subject, Mary hasn't, hasn't, auxiliary, negative form, met, the verb irregular in the past participle. Beautiful. If you want to watch the whole class, visit agelanguages.com. Especially go to agelanguages.com/videos. You will find our whole collection of videos there. Some of them are explained in English, some others are explained in Spanish. Right? If you want to read about learning English or teaching English, visit agelanguages.com/blog. You want to practice your reading skills, your reading comprehension, visit agelanguages.com/readings. You will find there short readings to test your skills, your reading skills. Interested in online English classes? Visit our website, send us an email, send us a WhatsApp message. We will be happy to help you out. We offer classes for all levels, all ages, and all needs. Thank you for interacting with the content that we have on the different social media platforms. We really appreciate it. And please leave your comments, leave your questions right there, and follow us on Instagram, also on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, and thank you for subscribing to this YouTube channel. Are you ready for the writing class? Yes, if you are connected there, welcome to this class. Thank you for watching this class live. But if you're watching the recording, thank you also for being there. We have our weekly classes, right? And this is class number 64, and let's do writing. Hi, are you ready for this writing class? Welcome. What are we doing today? Today we have a writing class, and we are writing a paragraph that has 169 words. The title is 3 Things That I Have Never Done. This is class number 64. What's the objective? To talk about past experiences in order to review and consolidate the present perfect, would like to, and be going to. Remember, we use the present perfect to talk about things that happened in the past, but we don't say when those things happened. We can use would like to talk about future desires, and be going to talk about plans, right? So this is the paragraph. I will be reading the paragraph, and please identify examples of the present perfect, would like to, and be going to, because that is what we will be talking about right after my reading. So how many words? 169, class 64, title, 3 things that I have never done in my life, of course, in the past, but I don't say when, right? There are three things that I have never done that I would like to do before I retired. First, I have never been to Africa. I would like to visit countries such as Egypt and Congo. Since I have only ridden horses and donkeys, I would enjoy riding an elephant and a camel in those two countries. Second, I have never gone diving. I would like to see all the marine life that thrives at coral reefs. But I guess I need to learn to swim before that. So I'm going to take swimming lessons this summer. Third, I have never seen whales. They are my favorite sea creatures. I would like to see them near the North Pole. I have never been to such a cold place. When I'm there, I'm going to take the most memorable pictures ever. I'm sure about that. This year, I'm going to take photography lessons and start saving money. These three experiences will surely become incredible memories. Nice. So, what can we say? There's an introduction, there's a conclusion, an introductory sentence, and a concluding sentence. The introductory sentence is talking about three things, yes, three activities that we would like to do. And the concluding is talking about three activities, three experiences that we will eventually do and will become memories. So as you can see, both the introduction and the conclusion are connected, both the introductory sentence and the concluding sentence. So that's what you can do to start your paragraph and to close it. Then this paragraph has examples of the present perfect. What do you have in the present perfect? Subject, I, auxiliary, have. In some cases, we have an adverb like never, and then a verb in the past participle, done. So let's see. I have never done, number one. Subject, I, have, auxiliary, never, adverb, and done, the verb in the past participle. Next, I have never been. Number three, I have only ridden. Okay, or I think here the sentence should be I have ridden only horses and donkeys. Yes, that is what we should have there. Next, I have never gone. Next, I have never seen. Next, I have never been. Okay, in all the examples, you have I as the subject, you have as an auxiliary, then you have an adverb, never, or only, and then you have a verb in past participle, ridden. In my opinion, in number three, only should be right before horses and donkeys. Yes, it should be right there between ridden and horses. So you use the present perfect to talk about past events, but you don't say when those events happened or didn't happen. Now, if something didn't happen in the future, then you may like to do it in the future. Or sorry, if something didn't happen in the past, you may want to do it in the future. So how do you express a future desire? I would like to, would like to, I would like to. I would like to do. I would like to visit. I would like to see. I would like to see. So memorize this. I would like to. I would like to, and then put a verb in base form. In number one, you have do. Number two, visit. In number three, see. In number four, see. I would like to, and then the desire. I would enjoy, that is in green, is not about future desires. This is about a hypothetical situation. That's why you don't have like to after would. I would enjoy a hypothetical situation. And in the previous example, all of the last words in the yellow phrases are irregular verbs in the third person, sorry, in the past participle, taken from the third column of your list of irregular verbs. Number one, done. Number two, been. Number three, written. Number four, gone. Number five, sing. Number six, been. Okay, sing, been, sing, been. All right, and would like to for future desires. Now, Plans. If you have a future desire, it's very likely that you can start making plans so that that thing can happen. How do you express your plans? I'm going to. I'm going to. I'm going to for your plans. And right after that, you put a verb in base form. I'm going to take. I'm going to take. I'm going to take. Those are your plans. I'm going to take swimming lessons. I'm going to take the most memorable pictures. I'm going to take photography lessons, to talk about plans. Now, how can you organize your ideas? You can move from one idea to another, from first to second to third, and then to your conclusion. So if you have three main ideas and a conclusion in your paragraph, you can use words such as first, second, third. In that way, you divide your paragraph um, in three different parts, and then you have your conclusion, right? These three experiences. That's a concluding phrase that is like letting me know, you, the reader, letting me know that I am finishing, closing my paragraph, right? But among the words in each part of the paragraph, you have other connectors, you have clauses, you have coordinating conjunctions, and you have phrases also that help you signal time, reason, addition, contrast, consequence. For example, look at yellow number one. Since I have only ridden horses and donkeys. Yeah, this is about what? You are introducing a reason and then you are presenting the result. And remember what I told you a few minutes ago? I would say, since I have ridden only horses and donkeys, because that's what I want to emphasize, right? But the fact here is that I'm using a clause that starts with a subordinating conjunction, since. Since I have only ridden horses and donkeys, that is the reason, then you have the result. Then I'm using a coordinating conjunction, and, to add something else. Then I'm using but to show contrast. Then I'm using so to show a consequence. Then I'm using a time clause when I'm there to give you context about time, but this is a clause. Then I'm using a phrase to give you context about time, this year. So these are things that you can use in order to improve your writing. And you can, before you write about three things that you have never done that you would like to do, you can put your ideas together, organize your ideas in a graphic organizer like this one. You divide the graphic organizer into three different parts. The first one, in my case, about visiting Africa. The second one, going diving and seeing whales. And then you put your ideas together into a paragraph like this that has three different parts, and you have yellow, light blue, and orange, talking about three things that you have never done that would like to do. If you want to watch the whole class or the class explained in Spanish, visit aglounges.com, especially aglounges.com/videos. All our collection of videos explained in Spanish and in English. You want to read about learning English or teaching English? aglounges.com/blog. Do you want to practice your reading skills at no cost? aglounges.com/readings. And interested in online English classes, visit our website, send us an email, send us a message on WhatsApp. Remember, we teach English for all levels, all ages, and all needs. And thank you for interacting with our content on social media. And also thank you for leaving your comments and your questions right there. And we really appreciate it. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. And thank you for subscribing to this channel. Are you ready for our vocabulary and pronunciation class? I am. So we are about to start. Thank you for being connected if you are, but if you're watching the recording, we have more classes for you in the future. This is class 64. We have news, all right, about the projects that we have, and we will continue sharing English content with you, but we will change the format a little bit very soon, okay, very soon. So here we go. Hi, welcome to this pronunciation and vocabulary class. My name is Antonio Galimberti and this is class number 64. What are we talking about today? Today we are talking about past experiences, vocabulary that has to do with past experiences. We will review the present perfect, some phrases that you have to memorize using the present perfect that will help you a lot. So, if you want to talk about experiences that you have had in the past, but you don't want to say when those things happened, you can use the present perfect. How can you start your sentences? I have, I have, I have, I have, subject auxiliary. Memorize this. I have, I have, I have. Then a verb in the past participle. The verb can be regular or irregular. If it's regular, it will finish in ed. If it's irregular, you're going to take it from the third column of your list of irregular verbs. All right? Good. So I have, verb, regular, irregular in the past participle, and then things like once, twice, three times, many times. Beautiful. Okay? I have, verb, once, twice, three times, many times. Beautiful. So what do we have here? I have never. I have never. I have never. This is about what? This is to say that you have never done something. All right? Memorize this. I have never. I have never. This is to talk about an experience that you never had in the past. I have never. And then a verb in past participle. It can be regular, finishing in ed, or it can be irregular, taken from the third column of your list of irregular verbs. Next, maybe there was something that you always wanted to do, but you haven't done it. So what do you say? I have always wanted to. I have always wanted to. You can also say, I have always wanted to. I have always wanted to. I have always wanted to. And then you put a verb in the past participle. A verb in base form. Sorry. A verb in base form. Why? Because you have the infinitive to plus the verb in base form. I have always wanted to, and a verb in dictionary form, base form, to say what a desire you have always had is, right? So, if you want to ask me a question about things that I have done in the future, but you don't want to say when, you can tell me, have you ever? Have you ever? Have you ever? Yes, have you ever? Have you ever? And then you add a verb in the past participle. Correct? It can be regular, finishing in ed, or it can be irregular, taken from the third column of your list of irregular verbs. Have you ever? About past experiences. Common vocabulary or some vocabulary with regular verbs: visited another city with your whole family, traveled by yourself, talked to someone on the phone in a different language. Past experiences with regular verbs. All of these three verbs finish in ed. Visited, talked, and the other one, traveled. So we're going to see in detail how to pronounce these three different verbs in a minute. But listen to my reading of the regular verbs. Visited another city with your whole family, traveled by yourself, talked to someone on the phone in a different language. Next, been to another country, driven an expensive car, gotten sick on a trip, seen a whale, ridden an elephant, eaten an unusual dish. Again. Eaten an unusual dish. Yes, tiny I. Gone to a concert. Gone to a concert. Meet a celebrity. Nice. All of these have irregular verbs. For example, been, driven, gotten, seen, ridden, eaten, gone, met. Perfect. So you can use regular verbs or irregular verbs to talk about past experiences. The verbs can be in the past participle if you're using the present perfect. Now, let's pay attention to the pronunciation of some of the verbs we have seen in this class, and we're going to review pronunciation using phonetic symbols from the Merriam-Webster dictionary. This one, visited, viz, z, z, z. 7 letters, 7 sounds, 3 syllables. The first syllable is the stressed syllable, and in the first syllable you have a tiny I. V, visit, visited, visited, visited. Nice. Z, z, visited. Good. Next, 8 letters, 7 sounds, 2 syllables. The first syllable is the stressed syllable. You have a in the first syllable, and you have in the second syllable. Schwa, second. Traveled, traveled, traveled. But look at how you are pronouncing the ending ed. Ld. Ed is sounding just like d here. Ld, ld. But look at here. Visited, 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 tit, tit. So here the pronunciation is tit, tit at the end. You are pronouncing e and d, right? It. Why? Because the verb finishes in t. Okay? Here, because the verb finishes in l, the original verb, the base form of the verb, in l, the l sound, then ed has to sound like d, just like that. Why? Because both l and d produce vibration right here on your vocal cords. Okay, so ld, traveled. Number 3, 6 letters, 4 sounds, 1 syllable. Kt. Look at the conclusion. Kt. Ed is pronounced like t. Why? Because it is following K. So after K, you have T. Kt, talked, talked, talked. Of course, it's going to be a tiny little T, but I'm exaggerating my pronunciation so that you can see what the sound is, right? So let's review this. So number 1, visit, visited, visited. Number 2, traveled, traveled. Number 3, talked, talked. Regular verbs. Now, irregular verbs. 4 letters, 3 sounds, pronunciation vowel been, been. Number 5, 6 letters, 6 sounds, 2 syllables. Stressed syllable is the first one. And in the first syllable, you have and the second syllable, you have driven, driven, driven. 6 letters, 5 sounds, 2 syllables. The first syllable is the stressed syllable. What do you have here? A with 2 dots on top. Ga, ga. Okay, and then ten, gotten, gotten. Then number 7, 4 letters, 3 sounds. You have E wearing a hat. So pronunciation E, sing, sing. Number 8, you have 6 letters and 5 sounds. And here, 2 syllables. The first syllable is the stressed syllable, and the first syllable says e, 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 and the second syllable is ridden, ridden. Okay. Now number 9, you have 5 letters, 4 sounds. Eaten, eaten. First syllable is the stressed syllable, and it's e wearing a hat. Pronunciation e, eaten, eaten. And number 10, you have 4 letters, 3 sounds. Gone or gone, gone, gone. Sorry, gone or gone, gone, gone or gone, gone or gone. Okay, basically the same, no? Yeah. Now, aglanguages.com. If you visit the website, you will find that collection of videos that we have. aglanguages.com/videos. You can watch this video explained in Spanish right there. aglanguages.com blog. Please read the articles that we have prepared for you. And if you want to practice your reading skills, visit aglanguages.com/readings. Interested in online English classes? Visit our website, send us an email, and send us a message. We will be happy to help you. We teach all levels, all ages, and all needs. Okay? We teach for all levels. Yes, all levels to people of all ages and for all the needs you may have. And thank you for interacting with the content that we have on social media. And thank you for leaving your comments, your questions. Please follow us on Instagram, on also TikTok, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. And thank you for subscribing to this channel. So if you are there, have you left any questions? I don't see any questions right there, but if you are watching the recording, okay, you can leave your questions. Write your questions there in the comments, and I will be happy to answer those questions. You can send us also an email, a WhatsApp message with the questions, and we will help you out with your requests. Today, this class number 64, has been about past experiences, right? To talk about past experiences, you can use the present perfect when you don't mention when something happened. However, you use the simple past when you want to be specific about an action in terms of timing. Now, if you didn't do something in the past, maybe you want to do it, you would like to do it. So how do you express a future desire? Would like to. And if you have a future desire, do you have a plan? Be going to. So thank you very much for being there, and thank you, agelanguages.com, for making this class possible. My name is Antonio Galimberti from AG Languages. See you next class in class 65. Bye bye.